side.
Hello! Welcome everybody to a episode of Bobby's Cryptid Corner. We have a full panel here today. Everyone, as you know, I'm Jamie.
I am Bree.
This is Bibble.
This is Bobby.
We have Tony here as our special guest today, Bottled Water. He is the captain of our episode today. Bobby might drop in and out because his Wi-Fi is under attack by the government, I think.
I'm Bobby.
Jamie, check your mic. Check your mic really quick.
Oh, okay, let me check it. Let me see. I'm not in. I'm in.
Bobby, are you good now? No.
Nope, Bobby is
right.
5 steps away. It's okay. Bobby will pop in and out. His internet's doing a little bit hard stuff.
On my iPad.
Well, welcome, Tony. Welcome, Bottled Water, to Bobby's Cryptid Corner. You are, I think, not really our first guest, because Kari's been a guest, but she's like already a part of Tadiwaba. So you're technically our first guest.
No, that's not true. We had Bigfoot actually on. Mike has been on. Not first guest on Bobby.
Mike.
Brown.
Okay,
yeah.
Mike. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, so not
you're
first
officially
guest.
our third first guest.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
First bottled water to be on here.
Oh, there we go. First bottled water on it.
First bottled water.
And you're the first guest really bringing your first cryptid with you, because usually we pick the cryptids. But you're the one who was like, this is the cryptid I want to do, and we were like, all right, that means you're captain of the episode. You're taking the weight on, and we are here just to help steer this goddamn vehicle. But I did a little bit of research. I did a video for us with all the pictures and like where it's from and stuff. So as you're talking, that can kind of play, and we're just gonna kind of discuss and see what happens with this damn cryptid.
Yeah, you have no idea how hard it was to get to Africa overnight, catch this thing, and then
bring
tie
it back.
that bastard up in my backyard.
No, completely understand. I'm excited to see the live footage of it.
So
the
America
neighbors are
of you.
freaking out.
I know.
I freaking bet. Of course, we do have a drinking game tonight, so pay attention, everybody, to the banner, and I will, of course, play the overlay of the night and let you know to drink. And
so I guess
trying to pronounce the name I can't pronounce.
I was like, with that, I guess we should go ahead and say that tonight's cryptid is the Mokele-Mbembe.
Dude, yeah.
Okay.
There's the first one. Hey, Bobby.
Jamie, you don't have a drink. You can't invent a drinking game and not have a drink.
Okay, hold on.
I'll call my butler. Starbucks. That's a Starbucks.
Butler husband. She's like, wake up. Can you please make me a drink?
I need a drink.
Guys, I can't. This isn't working for me.
This is
definitely sound auto-tuned.
Restart your computer. Restart
your computer, and then meet us back here whenever you come back. Don't worry, we'll go on without you. Don't worry. Start your computer. Oh, he's gonna
restart your computer for sure, though.
Restart your computer. I will text him. Restart.
It's fine. Let's get back to business.
Yes.
So the I don't even. Okay.
Say it.
The Mokele-Mbembe.
Mokele-Mbembe.
That's a double drink. That's a double drink you got to do now.
I think that we said it right.
I'm gonna remove Bobby from here. Here, look. I'll add this to the stream so you could see this is the name. So you can try to say it.
Mokele-Mbembe.
Mokele-Mbembe. Fuck, we're gonna be drinking a lot, guys. Fuck, you just flashed it like 12 times. Hold on, my drink is coming.
Mokele-Mbembe.
Hey, Brooke Love. Yes, you're not gonna get anything done now that you're here. Okay, so this cryptid is very reminiscent to me of like the Loch Ness monster. Am I wrong?
For sure.
So it's kind of
straw.
Sort of, kind of, but the name actually represents like 5 different cryptids.
Oh, okay. So what do you mean? Because like I thought the name meant like it was like what I read was it's one who stops the flow of rivers.
Yes. So there is the one that looks like in the picture here, like a brontosaurus or an apatosaurus or whatever. But there's 3 others or 4 others, and You want to talk about a drinking game? These fucking names.
Try to say these other ones, yeah.
They are okay. Imila Ntoka, Imbelu, 3 times, and Nguma Monene.
That's a lot. That's a lot of different names that you have going on there that we cannot pronounce. And I'm assuming this is because like we're in Africa and we're just not used to this kind of dialect. And it's just not, I don't know, like my brain can't comprehend it. I listened to a few things of them trying to say it and I just couldn't. I was like, I have no idea what's going on here.
Yeah, it's
all the docs make it sound so easy.
Cryptid though.
Interesting. Okay, so it's known to be specifically living on the Congo River Basin. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay. And is it because that's where the body of water is in that area? And so that's, of course, where this has to be from? Because I don't really see any big bodies of water other than that in that area.
Well, there's actually a couple of lakes and then the river system itself. It's actually the second largest rainforest in the world. I learned that today.
That's interesting. Okay.
And
did you say second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second biggest.
Must be the Amazon first?
The animal itself has been described a couple of different ways. And I think one of the things that is interesting is that it's a carnivore.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting too, that it was a carnivore. Because you would think that something that looked like that, because it's very reminiscent to me of like a dinosaur, like very specifically a dinosaur. And like most of the ones that looked like that with those really long necks, the reason that they had that was because they were reaching up highs in the tree to get leaves and stuff like that. But it's interesting because it said that this is a water creature. So what would be the purpose of that thing having a super long neck? It seems like it would be counterproductive in like a water environment. You know what I mean? Because it gives them like a very big space to be like attacked.
But they did say in the research I was looking up that there seems to be a lack of like elephants and hippos and crocodiles in the area where this thing supposedly is.
Oh, sure.
So and that's where like that it's a carnivore comes from, and that it's eating like hippos and
those kind of creatures. Got you. That's a very interesting correlation that they were like, well, if they're not in this area, I guess it has to be because there's a bigger predator out there. And what better than, you know, a cryptid?
Yeah, well,
that's kind of
dinosaur.
crazy. Dinosaur, isn't that the whole like thing about it? Is that it's the lost dinosaur?
Yeah,
or
it's very
just remnants
prehistoric
of a
times.
Dinosaur. Every time I looked it up, everything was like the lost dinosaur.
So here's the thing though that I think that's part of that too is like, so as I think we all know, like Africa really is like the cradle of life. Like everything kind of traces back to there. So I think that you have a lot more history. Like you could never say that any of these things were a dinosaur in the United States because I feel like our stuff just doesn't go back that far. You know what I mean? Whereas like in Africa, they could have a lot more claim to saying that this is a dinosaur because they're like, no, this place is old. This is where things started. You know what I mean?
But that's weird. I did see something though that said that it was first mentioned in the West in 1909, which would mean that it started on this side of the world.
Are you telling me that a white man started this? God damn it!
No, that's when I think he was a French explorer first heard about it was in 1909.
Got you. So again, a white man. All right. So it was
always the damn French.
Red pill. Sorry.
Damn French.
Damn French. I know.
Super red pill.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm low key. Like all of us are like right now.
What do I have to do to get that in a cell phone ring?
We were hate criming the French there, so I found it kind of necessary.
Yeah, and white people.
And white people too. Yeah, sorry, and white people. Welcome back, Bobby.
It's back, and we have movement.
I know. We see you. Do we hear you?
Hello?
Hey. How are you, Bobby?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Oh, well, thanks for saying something over here like an asshole, saying hello a bunch of times.
No, we didn't hear you then the other times. We only heard
Does
you
it sound
one time.
yeah. I don't know what happened. I just restarted the whole router. I was like, let's see what do the old unplug and plug back in trick.
Uncorker and porker.
So yeah,
right?
Mokele-Mbembe. I'm just gonna.
Oh, throw it up there.
Should have got another beer while I was downstairs.
So we were just talking about the different names of it, and that's from the Congo. Why specifically? We're talking about why it's very dinosaur-like. So go ahead. Where were we from there?
Sorry.
We were talking about how it's a carnivore and how that's kind of weird.
Yes, interesting. Especially because of its shape, it just doesn't make sense to me. Haven't seen any carnivorous animals that have really long necks like that. Just doesn't make sense.
And even the dinosaurs that look like that are generally accepted not to be carnivores, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like what I was saying before, but you were gone, Bobby, is like these dinosaurs that have those long necks they evolved that way because they were reaching up to the tops of these trees trying to get these leaves and stuff like that. It was a competition.
Sure.
So how would that neck... Yeah, so how would this neck make sense inside of the water? Like what advantage? If anything, it seems like it would be a huge target for things to attack it with. So it just doesn't make, especially like hippopotamuses and crocodiles. But Tony was saying that specific area has a huge lack of those things in those areas. So that's why they're assuming that I guess it's a carnivore.
It could always be reaching down too. He could be in the water and then like going, I don't know.
I've seen those old like those old Time Life illustrations of dinosaurs, and they show those like they'll be like down like deep in the water, and then their head will just be kind of poked up. So maybe they just chill in the water, really deep water sometimes. Who knows?
True, but if you're looking out at the top of the water, how are you protecting the rest of you from anything under the water? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because I don't. Yeah, But Bottled Water was just saying that there's not a lot of predators in this particular part of where they supposedly live, right?
No,
right.
but there's.
Glad we recapped all that.
Yeah, we're there. Bam. Back where we started.
Back to where we started. So there's another interesting thing about it is nobody can seem to make up their minds on how big it is.
How big what is?
Fucker.
I was waiting. Who could get the first?
Mokele-Mbembe.
It was coming to me, and then Bree took it over.
Yeah.
So estimates say that its length is anywhere between 16 to 32 feet in length, and its neck could be anywhere from 5 to 10 feet, and its tail could be anywhere from 5 to 10 feet in length. Jesus. And there's reports of it being up to 75 feet in length.
So it's interesting because like I think that when we talk about a lot of these cryptids, one of the things we notice is there's never just one description. It's always like it's from 5 feet to 10 feet. Like it's always this very wide range of what it is or couldn't or it not be. What'd you have to say, Bobby?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm seeing a variety of different interpretations of this creature. I always assumed it was. I'm just gonna say this creature, so I don't even try to pronounce it.
What's the creature? What's the creature?
Yeah,
what's the creature?
Thing, but I'm seeing like elephant. And forgive me if you guys already went over this because of my shitty internet. But I'm seeing elephant trunks and elephant tusks. And things like that. So there's various physical descriptions of this thing.
Yeah, so a lot of people say it could have like maybe one tooth, and then the one tooth has turned into no, it's one horn, and then the horn has turned into no, it has tusks coming out of it. So I think a lot of it is just the evolution of like what people are interpreting it as, kind of like that game of telephone with any kind of legend. The more and more you tell it, the more stuff gets added to it and added on to make it more fantastical as it goes. And I do think that a part of it is the different variations of it, where people are saying like, well, this is the version I saw, this is the version I saw.
Yeah.
This particular one almost looks like an amalgam of all the local animals, perhaps of that area. You got crocodile feet, you got tusks from an elephant, you got a rhinoceros horn. Yeah, and then you have a tusk from an elephant. So
it also gives me dragon
weird.
vibes.
That's
without
horrifying.
wings. I mean, that looks like a badass beast, if you ask me.
And if you think about it, like if you're telling the tale of this crazy thing you saw, and like you were saying about the game of telephone when things get added to it over the years, culturally in that area, what would be like the predators that you could like their description you could use to embellish what it is you're claiming to have seen as well. So it's like horn of a rhinoceros and a tusk of a elephant, etc. So.
Right, yep. You use the things that you know to describe something that you don't know.
100%. Yep.
Now, what is interesting though is there have been expeditions out there in the Congo, and when they talk to the local people, and I think this was on Destination Truth with Josh Gates. He did an episode on this, and the locals drew a sauropod like in the sand and said, "This is what we saw," and then he showed them a picture of a sauropod, and they're like, "Yeah, that's it. So then that kind of that makes you question. They know what elephants look like, they know what crocodiles look like, and all these other animals, and if they specifically say this is what we're seeing, that's a whole nother story.
Why are they trying to kill that thing? It doesn't look like it's tasty.
I was like, so this tends to be a different version of it, right? So this is like the more dinosaur, not so much like a weird elephanty tusky thing. This is more of the traditional, what people think that it is. And the interesting variation between the two. So you have these like spikes on the back of the neck, which the other one, which kind of cuts out my idea of not being protected. Because if you got spikes on your neck, you know what I'm saying?
This is like that movie, 1985, Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend. You remember anyone? Yeah, okay, someo's with me here. It's kind of a family fun film.
I was like, somebody said that in the beginning. Somebody said that at the beginning.
Oh, God.
Somebody said that.
Yeah, but I have seen that movie.
Yeah, I probably hadn't seen it in
right here. Bam.
Years.
80s movie. Baby was about one.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. I keep interrupting my references.
Beautiful. I just want to jump on top and pet it.
There's so the one on the left with the spikes on its neck. Some of the depictions also have it when it looks like that being like hairy.
Oh, really?
Like gray fur or something on it. Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting is a lot of dinosaurs we're finding out now in life are not actually covered in like scales or like reptilian per se, but they're more like feather covered. So like maybe maybe feather, because you think of like maybe like ducks, if they're in water, they want to be hydrophobic so that the water falls right off of them, that they're not cold when they get out of the, because it seems like this cryptid also tends to get out of the water, because a lot of the pictures are depicting like it walking around and more it's using the waterways as like a way to travel. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It wouldn't need fur. It wouldn't need feathers then if it was in the water.
When we go into the evolved dinosaurs evolved into birds theory though, is that I don't know if you guys know the answer to this. I'm just asking. Does that include like, was it like a sauropod, like a four-legged one, or is that only like your T-Rexes and raptors and stuff like that?
I think
it's only the bipedal dinosaurs.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I think that we're saying for now the science is saying only the bipedal, but the possibility of it being more, I think we have to leave that open, because we thought for a long time it wasn't T-Rexes. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I kind of have a theory that maybe it doesn't actually walk on all fours all the time. Like a bear or something like that, which could explain its longer neck, because there are a few predatory dinosaurs that have a long neck, but they also have long front arms that they would sometimes use for walking. There's a couple of like really big raptors that do that. So that could be, and that could explain why it would be a predator, because it's not actually a sauropod. People are just seeing it while it's moving on all four, not while it's reared up and, fighting or attacking something.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a very big possibility.
No, I feel you on that one. This one's an interesting one. There's so many variations is interesting, but again, it's very indicative of a lot of these cryptids that we look into. There's so many different versions and variations of it. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, one of them looks like literally looks like a stegosaurus.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bobby.
Is this particular cryptid like? Do you know if it's very specific to a very specific region, or are there other tales of dinosaur-like creatures in other parts of the Congo or even Africa?
So there's 4 different creatures, and there's another one that like looks like a T-Rex, I think, in the area. But we're talking like 5.5 million square miles is like how big this rainforest is. So it's a huge area.
But it is also, I think what he's saying too is like it's only in Africa. It's not other continents. But
well, if you don't count like Loch Ness and
so I was gonna say, but it's another one of those cryptids I feel like is where every part of the world has their own version of it, where it's like this is the African version of Bigfoot, this is the African version of Loch Ness Monster kind of thing. So I think that this is just another one of those where it's like could possibly be an unidentified species that is completely worldwide.
Could very well be.
Yeah, and I just find it interesting because if you look at it, like human beings didn't really even, I think the dinosaur phenomenon was like the mid 1800s. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like when people started like it's a thing now. And then it probably got into the zeitgeist more around the mid 20th century, I would imagine. And then you got to think about that exposure to like Western pop culture or whatever. Like if this legend goes back beyond that, and on top of that, a lot of it comes from like indigenous backwoods, like jungle tribes and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That have not necessarily been exposed to our, archetype of the dinosaur or whatever. Which I think
in our vernacular
credence.
As well. Yeah, our vernacular is aware of what we would use to describe things in the modern age. That's so much of an area that's cut off from the world. It's not like they have Wi-Fi accessible inside the middle of the goddamn Conga fucking jungle.
Right.
Yeah.
Or cell phones. You know what I mean? It's not like they're taking pictures.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that, if this description matched that of a dinosaur before humans really even knew about dinosaurs, assuming they're real to begin with, it just makes it kind of interesting.
Wait, are you insinuating that you don't think dinosaurs are real?
I think there's some fuckery afoot with dinosaurs, but we can talk about it another time.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. All right,
red pill.
Yeah, look into where
the
dinosaur
Bible.
bones are manufactured, and the Bible.
Oh shit!
Anyway,
there's a dinosaur in the Bible.
I'm not anti-dinosaur. I love dinosaurs. I'm just saying there's some shady shit about the origin of the dinosaur.
All right, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
65 million years ago.
Yeah, right.
A big giant rock hit the earth.
And they all died.
Except the birds.
And then humans came.
The birds.
I want to know how the government was around 65 million years ago to make the birds.
Question, right? Oh my God. Right, Tony? Question though. Okay, what if the possibility that the asteroid that hit Earth that killed everything is actually the story that's in the Bible of the flood just mistold?
Ooh.
I don't know why that just came into my brain right now.
Yeah, but dinosaurs were supposed to be like 65 million years ago, unless we're insinuating that the children of Adam lived around that time.
I'm just saying, like, maybe the story was taken from that and misinterpreted and put into modern times.
Yes. Perhaps.
Yeah.
That's
there's a lot of
like so like if you notice there's a lot of repeating in history, right? There's a lot of we take old stories, we interpret them, we put them to new age. Who's not to say that the story of that, like the dinosaurs, they took that, they wanted to wipe out the dinosaur part of it, turn it into God and make it into a lesson, and that's why it's a story in the Bible now. Because if you start to look at stuff in the Bible, it's all very reminiscent too of like bigger events that actually happened in real life but aren't necessarily happening the same way that the Bible is telling it.
You have to ask yourself, is this some kind of
exactly
dinosaur from the Bible?
What if the meteor that hit the Earth was our spaceship and it just crashed on her?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so like the seeded planet thing, I love that theory that it's the possibility that we were the ones who killed the dinosaurs by showing up.
Hell yeah, we terraformed the fuck out of them and they got out.
Yep, and we were just like done. Exactly.
Well, yeah.
But
I mean,
that stuff.
if you do subscribe to like a biblical mythology, you could say like maybe God was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something a little more profound than these weirdos, and he just, or the ancient alien theory or whatever, and they just and they just you know, he hit reset on the earth, and you know, there you go.
Here we are.
Yep, he just said nuke the lizards.
Wait, didn't he do it more than once too? Because he did it with Tower of Babel as well.
Yeah, it's all a cycle. We're gonna be living dinosaurs in the next 40 years or so.
But you know, that was the angry God, and he's not angry anymore. He's like, well, I've killed enough things. Now just give kids cancer.
Right? Oh shit! This is a lot.
There it is.
This is a lot happening.
Sorry, we got very off track. All right, back.
We did. Mokele.
Oh, drink. This goddamn cryptid. Look at all the birds around it in this description. Like, are the birds its friend? Are they attacking it? I'm confused by this one.
The birds are like, chill.
I have to say, I feel like everyone's like too afraid to say the name.
Mokele-Mbembe.
I haven't even tried.
Mokele-Mbembe.
It's gotta be right.
Mokele-Mbembe.
See what, hold on a second. I'm going to see if Google pronunciation can
do it. Yeah. Sorry if you guys are drinking along with us. We tried to hold off, but there you go. There's another one. There's another one.
Oh.
How do you spell this thing?
M-O.
I got it. It autofilled when I hit M.
It was like, you know it because they're listening, Bobby. Your computer knows. It's Google's plugged into us all. Oh, see, there you go.
I'm doing Google how to pronounce. There's nothing. Well,
really?
Well, there's no recording. There's like the phonetic thing, but I'm not gonna.
It doesn't. Google doesn't want to drink. That's what it is.
Google.
I don't want to do it.
Had too much already.
It's like, fuck you. I'm not doing that.
Howtopronounce.com.
I love that you're doing this.
I feel like all the docs, when people say them, it's so smooth. They're like, Mokele-Mbembe.
I got it. I got it. Hold on.
Put up the drink, Bree.
Drink it up, Buttercup.
Mokele-Mbembe.
What?
Ooh, do it again.
Mokele-Mbembe.
Mokele-Mbembe.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
I feel like she said it wrong.
Okay. Howtopronounce.com. Drink.
They don't know how to do it.
Listen,
yeah, we'll have to send them a strongly worded email.
Exactly.
Now that thing looks wicked.
Okay, so this is one of those versions that I could see it in the water. Its body's protected. The way it doesn't look like it can swim in this, to be honest with you. Its body looks a little chubby. Doesn't look like it'd be aerodynamic in the water. Doesn't look like it would float. I don't know why, but this doesn't look like a water creature to me by any means. Like, at least the Loch Ness Monster looks more water.
It's just amphibious.
It's just amphibious to me, exactly.
Yeah. It just chills in the water and near the water. It's not like a.
It's hybrid.
Yeah. It's hybrid. I like
that. Like elephants do the same kind of shit, right? Like,
yeah,
they're just
exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the rhinos, opposites.
Maybe it's kind of like it hunts like a crocodile does, and it kind of just sits there with its body submerged and like ambushed.
And then when they go on land, he's just like psych.
Just like psych, bitch, and then he hits you with its tail. And
oh yeah, this should be a good horror movie.
Actually, I know.
Yeah. Fuck,
Revenge of the Mokele-Mbembe.
Yeah, right. Oh, that movie was adorable. It's time for people to die now.
It's time we get fucking real.
Let's stop fucking around, Hollywood.
No one's
Dikembe Mutombo movie. What is it?
So, is there right?
You guys aren't keeping up on every time I play this. I'm looking at all of your squares, and no one's always drinking. Bobby?
Question. Is there ties to reptilians with this creature? Because I feel like the possibilities are endless with that one.
Ooh.
Always, right?
Maybe it's like one of the reptilians' pet, and they fucking left it in Africa, and they were like, "Shit, where did I leave that?"
Because I feel like when we talk about really old things, like it's just giving me reptilian vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the sources. Like when you listen to David Icke talk about how he came up with the reptilian theory, is like
David Icke.
I just visited every fucking culture in the world, and they all talk about this, and I think he specifically references African tribes. So
got you.
I just wanted to throw another red pill out there.
I get you. Well, because I guess I guess I'm just assuming that because I don't know, because like there's a lot of conspiracy theories about this like cryptid. I think it goes back really deep because like it gained a lot of interest super early on, you know?
Right.
Like this was like people would spend tons of money to go on these like hunts and expeditions for them. So I would just assume that like, you know, like old money always has rumors. I just assume that this would go back deep in time. They would pull this out as like, well, yeah, my grandpappy saw this shit in the goddamn Conga, and now I know reptilians are fucking real. Like it talked to us. You know what I'm saying?
This show is ridiculous.
I could see it go down that rabbit hole really easy.
This show is ridiculous.
What was that? I loved it.
I'm just saying.
Oh shit.
I mean, I did see
this,
so you can go on an expedition to look for one, and
still to this day.
Yeah, there's $16,000 if you want to go by yourself.
Why is everybody calling him chubby?
I don't really.
Rude.
What?
You called him chubby, and then Brooke called him chubby. I was like, why is everybody calling him chubby? He's really not that chubby. He looks lean and mean.
This one looks lean.
And down to eat more than just the green.
Ooh. Say that slower.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's
rare.
He's lean like
rare.
I'm just
saying. This one's on a keto diet. Like, he's not...
That's what I'm saying.
No
like,
carbs.
I'm like, God damn.
He's a meat eater. I think you'd be more lean. Like I feel like a T-Rex would go better in the water than this thing.
No.
Its tail doesn't even seem like river-like. It's too long. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
You were very like upset that there is a aquatic animal that's not like that has legs.
I'm just like I don't like that it's so associated. It's so associated with the water and Loch Ness Monster, and I'm like, but I don't see it.
It's not the Loch Ness Monster. It's a.
This is the problem. At the end of the day, this is the problem. Hate crimes.
Yes, hate crimes.
Again with the birds.
I know the birds are always around. That's what I'm saying. Did you find any connection to these birds attacking things?
Well, those look like storks and flamingos. I guess
fucking flamingos now.
Are flamingos.
Jesus Christ.
Goddamn flamingos fly.
This monster in a fight. I agree.
I don't know about it. I don't know about that.
Well, this one's got like
Tony.
a horse face, so this one doesn't look very like threatening.
Is this the same cryptid as the Mokele-Mbembe?
Yeah, this is the same one. Drink.
This painting has a bit of a Frank Frazetta, Conan the Barbarian vibe to it.
Yeah, but this is probably like a modern
I was going to say, is
interpretation.
that a giant sword right there?
We have the Master Sword from Zelda in there.
Yes,
and
yeah, on like a little boat righty thing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but
it's a very. I'm not saying it's a bad painting, but it's very awkward and kind of weird.
But it's not great. Just a little bit.
It's like poorly composed.
Mm-hmm. Like that
they did their best.
That woman's going down on just a plank raft.
I think she stole the photo. Whoever did this, I think, stole a painting. It's like a painting, and then they added shit to it.
They added shit to it.
Like the background was already there. And
yes, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if I threw a badass dinosaur and like this chick from Monster Hunter on there?
Yeah, they fucked it up.
We're
all right. Go ahead, Tony. Keep going. Tell us the story more.
So there's so many, like I said earlier, there's like 3 different or 4 different creatures that all have really fucked up names. And
what are their names?
He said them earlier when you weren't here.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
I'm out of beer.
Like you can literally just take the alphabet and throw it at the wall, and that's what they're called. Yeah, that's what they are.
That sounds like a hate crime to me.
Chicka Chakaboo, Single Force.
I mean,
for sure.
So one of them is like a stegosaurus that lives in the water, and it's got the ridges on its back, and it's got a short neck and a little horse face like a stegosaurus does.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that's called Mbelu. So nice they named it thrice.
Thrice, yeah, I like that.
And then there's one that's like a big fucking rhino creature. It's got this big, thick, like crocodile tail, and it has a short neck and like a 3-foot horn on its nose. And I think that's the... Like, I can see that one being like a meat eater. Like, that's a badass animal.
Hold on, I had that picture. It was like right here.
Yeah,
like that one.
Oh, okay.
Like that, but without the tusk and without the elephant nose.
Okay, got you.
Oh, so then that looks like a normal dinosaur.
That would be a crocodile, I would imagine.
Yeah, like a crocodile with a big horn.
Oh, the horn. Okay.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I do that thing. No, thank you.
But like, I could see them mating.
I don't want to run into that.
A rhino and a crocodile. I could see them mating. You know.
I don't think one lays eggs.
Sexy time.
Yeah. One's an egg layer.
I was like, what is the Mokele-Mbembe a egg layer, do you think, as well?
I think you fucked that up.
If it's a dinosaur, then yeah, right?
You would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
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 Bitch, you did not drink.
I'm sorry.
Bobby.
All right.
You
sorry,
have
go ahead.
You have to excuse yourself to grab more beer.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, go.
I could see them totally meeting, though. Honestly, I think. Oh God, I love crocodiles and alligators. They're so majestic.
So the big horn-faced one, people think that could be like a triceratops type animal.
Yeah, bring the picture back up. We need visuals because I need to imagine.
Sorry. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah. So no. What do you
no tusks, no tusks, and no elephant nose,
and no nose.
Yeah,
but everything else pretty accurate.
Just the horn and everything else.
Yep.
Damn, what a bad beast.
What a bad bitch.
I want one.
That's
I want one.
Bitch. Like, could you imagine taking that for a walk?
I mean, I think it would take you for a walk. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You can only hope you could be like Daenerys and you're like the one person that could like ride him or something, you know?
The dragon queen.
The queen of the Mokele-Mbembes.
Yeah. Drink.
This is just digressed into us trying to pronounce that and drinking.
I know.
I love
what
it.
What else do we have to do?
It's a casual episode.
Now I have to.
Mokele-Mbembe.
There we go.
Okay.
Down the hatch.
Down the hatch.
Now I have to go.
It's it is a weird. It's one of the weirder cryptids. It kind of sticks out, kind of like the frog people from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
It just sticks out as kind of like, how do you quantify this thing? Like, how do you? And the fact that there's no actual evidence, it's just all
anecdotal and word of mouth, constant passing down of stuff.
Do we know if there's any reports from like Westerners seeing this thing, or is it strictly local lore?
I think there was a Chinese or Japanese expedition that went out and they filmed something in the water, but it was in 92 and they don't have any good footage. It's just something moving through the water.
Classic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they have found footprints
Well, I do want to bring up one interesting thing about this, which I think is also a little bit cryptid realmy, is that sometimes when people talk about this cryptid, they're not saying that it's a physical creature, and more maybe as like a spiritual creature.
Right.
So it's not. It doesn't. Yeah, so like sometimes like it's not necessarily manifested as like coming out like an actual thing that's like there, but it's like a spiritual creature that like haunts and does these things, if that makes sense.
No.
Classic.
No sense. No sense.
You know what that makes me think of? The Dino Beaver from the Skinwalker Ranch.
It's Dino Beaver from Skinwalker, yeah.
The spiritual Dino Beaver.
Yeah. Like how in like that big dire wolf that came out of nowhere and then just like disappeared, that got shot like 47 times. What if it's like a trans-dimensional being and there's like a weak spot in the barrier and it just sometimes wanders into our world?
Or not even, maybe it is like a not even necessarily something Lovecraftian like that, but what if it's the veil the veil of reality overlaps with a timeline, and you are just seeing kind of a peek into the dinosaur timeline in that same place for whatever reason. If we accept that time is not linear, let's party.
Which we do. We accept that here on this channel.
Drink.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, drink.
For what? Just for fun? Just for red pill?
Yeah, just a fun one. No pun. Not a negative reinforcement drink.
You know what? You know what it's time for?
That one's nice and smooth. It's not.
Yeah, sorry. That's a good one.
Normal. Dun, 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 which I'm used to. That one's like sexy time. Like he needs syrup. He needs syrup.
In all that fur.
Yes. All that fur. Exactly. He's like
all that fur.
All that fur.
Okay, so question.
Yes.
Is there like a possibility that this is just some type of African creature that's misidentified that's out there?
Yeah.
Okay, and which one is it?
Could be a new creature.
Oh.
What?
But not necessarily a dinosaur-like creature.
Right.
What?
Maybe it's just like a new predator, or it might just be a new herbivore that has never been documented yet. I mean, there's 5.5 million square miles of rainforest there.
Yeah.
Not really the easiest place to
look into it.
Yeah, find everything.
So I will say some of my research pointed towards a lot of people just assuming that this is a misidentified black rhinoceros. And that, I mean, I see it and I don't. When you were talking about the one that had like the short leg and like the crocodile tail and the horn, I could see this being misidentified as just not seeing the tail or something if it was in the water. Like these hang out in the water. That's maybe you don't see the neck or behind it or something, or I don't know. I think that's a huge possibility.
Or there could have been a crocodile in the water behind it. Like a ways behind it, and its tail was moving or sticking up out of the water, and it was going down.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
So that could be, and that would just be the misidentification of two animals as one.
Yeah.
Based
on
like perspective.
I will say, and I think there's been like a few different like shows that have like went out like in the newer times who have tried to gone and like investigate it, and every single one of them came back with like absolutely nothing. Every single one of them.
Yeah, it says there's been more than 50 expeditions to the region, but no scientific evidence.
Like nothing, yeah. And I believe like actual scientists went down there. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
our usual.
Yeah. Unless you include large claw-shaped footprint recorded by French missionary in 1776. The only photographic images are fuzzy. They prove nothing. So, I mean, but there is no shortage of eyewitness reports, it says.
No.
I mean, this is very reminiscent of Loch Ness, actually. Because you always hear these, like, vague accounts. But, again, I mean, I think it's just hard to gather evidence of an aquatic cryptid. I'd say that's fair to say.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's easy ways to dip under the water. You're not going to be on land to catch footprints very often. How often are how easy is it for a creature to see, what seems to be humans on the water on their turf, and it just kind of like dips out or whatever. There's all kinds of variables to this as to why there's no evidence. I don't know. I think
I have something. Yeah.
What do you got?
No. Your fucking mic. Every time you say it's like.
Sorry. Is there a possibility that the reason that they claim this to be an aquatic animal is just an excuse of why it's elusive and they can't find it? Not necessarily because that's actually how or why it travels. You know what I mean? Because it seems like a lot of the sightings and a lot of the interactions tend to not be in water per se. You know what I mean?
I've seen a lot of those, but I don't know. I'm just now kind of digging into this. But I don't know. You might be right. I just feel like every time, maybe I'm imagining it because of all the awesome illustrations we saw at the beginning of this. But I don't know. Every time I think of this thing, I think of it being near water. But that could be just confirmation bias from a few minutes ago.
I think it's because too. It's so much associated with like the Loch Ness monster. It's like, oh, it's the Loch Ness of Africa.
Yes.
Like that's like a tagline with it. So then you're thinking it's doing the same things that Nessie's doing. Totally. And so I think that you have that confirmation bias already going into it and what's happening with it.
Yeah, that's very real possibility right there.
Does that mean they could all be a part of the same family? I'm thinking about all those different places. Even in Tahoe, there's Tahoe Tessie and the Lake of Tahoe, where it's the same kind of shaped creature that's like the Loch Ness, very reminiscent of this creature. Actually, it looks identical, but not with a horn or anything, but everything else looks the same, and it's like deep in the lake. And
I think we mentioned that at the top of the episode when we were talking about how this could possibly be another one of those cryptids where it's like nationwide. You have these slight variations because of the different areas that it's in, but at the end of the day, it could be a possibility that they're looking at all the exact same type of species.
Question. I have a question. When this shit happened with the dinosaurs, when the comet came, could it have been that the creatures that were what I'm saying hybrid, maybe they're taking a deep swim, could it be that when the comet came and everyone else burned up, they were fine because they were just like swimming so deep that nothing impacted them, and then they rose back up and was like, well, what the fuck, where's everybody at? So they're still here.
Maybe, but I feel like a cataclysm like that will like boil the seas and shit. Like, obviously there are some
deep sea, no, because they find things all the time and see that has been around for
I was gonna
thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, I have to agree with Brie. Like, there's a possibility that if something, even if it crashed in the water, right? But it didn't. It crashed like in the earth, right? And that's what they say. Or did it crash in the water? I don't know.
No, it crashed in the water. They say that it crashed.
So let's crash in the water. But the ocean's a big ass fucking place. I can understand it killing everything within like a certain mile radius, but there has to be a possibility that on the outskirts of even that there were areas that like weren't as affected. That even if it went up, maybe
you muted yourself.
It was such a great monologue.
It was
great, but she was like, there's a possibility that
had a lot of feeling with no audio.
Clearly the FBI need her.
Sorry, I'm back. Now I don't even remember what I was saying.
Do we fuck with Hollow Earth on this show by chance?
There has to be.
I guess.
I really want Jamie to finish her sentence.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
That there has to be other places in the world that weren't, because they supposedly crashed in the Gulf of Mexico. So where the Gulf of Mexico is now is the actual line of the crater. So it wasn't the Gulf of Mexico before it is now because of the crater. So
there would have to be there would have to be so let's say maybe it was hanging out up by Antarctica, like a colony of them, right? Like it was cold up there, it didn't get heated up too much. They were like chilling. That's what I'm saying. Like there's a possibility that impact couldn't have damaged everything, but it could have damaged just a certain radius. And so there's other possibilities of the world that were like not touched. Like I get like the earth was scorched. I understand that, but like there had to have been deep somewhere on the other side of the globe that shit didn't reach to, where things survived. I mean,
Well,
that had
yeah,
to.
we know that.
That's why life continued on, right? That's why not everything died.
Exactly. And
I
I
feel
just
like
wonder though if there's bigger creatures that happen to also be deep sea. Like, what if they traveled for whole 24 hours down to the depth of the ocean, and they would like get some type of special food or whatever, and then come back up, and they just so happen to align themselves with the time that the comet hit, and they came back up and things were different. I'm just throwing things out
feel
there.
like
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
I feel like we piss off like every brand of legitimate scientist that could possibly be watching this shit.
Are you serious?
Like, what the fuck are these people talking? No, I'm just saying, like, it's fun to speculate things, but I feel like someone that's legitimately trained in like geology or paleontology or cryptozoology.
But see, that's also
like,
an issue, though. That's an issue, though, because scientists are supposed to always ask questions and think outside the box. And that's why, like, even on our podcast, we have said sometimes that sometimes science turns into a religion into certain points because they don't want to think outside of a box because it just seems too crazy. It's too questionable. There's too many like loopholes. Like it can't happen. It's just thinking, wild. But I think what life proves over and over again is that chaos can happen, and
all the time.
Are 1 in a trillion chances of something can happen. It does.
It does, exactly. You can't you can't leave out that possibility. I think especially if you're a scientist and you're based in mathematics, right? Because that's what most science is based off of, right? The language of the universe. Everyone speaks math. You have to understand mathematically the possibilities that are out there. Like you can't limit so many equations that are out there that I think just prove that the possibility of life is limitless outside of our own small little corner of the universe.
Well, you got to think too, because scientists accidentally created a chicken embryo with a dinosaur's face.
Oh shit!
And like, because they've
been
manipulating.
What a crazy accident!
They've been manipulating the DNA to see if they could do it, and then I guess accidentally they forgot to terminate this embryo, and it like got to the point to where it could have hatched. So they were like, "Oh shit, we need to kill this dinosaur." We just grew.
Why would they do that? Why
drop
why
it
though?
Off at a fire station.
Yeah, you could drop it off, safe, no questions asked.
I found this ostrich egg. And it's gonna hatch. You imagine taking something like that to a zoo and being like, "My ostrich laid this, and it's getting really close to hatching. Can you guys please take care of it?" Okay, bye.
We're not far from that being the plot from a future Jurassic Park movie.
For sure. I think that's a possible plot of, I think, real life happening with the stuff that's going on with science and technology and cloning and stuff like that. Like, I think it's going to get to the point where it's like, if we can, why not?
For sure.
Yeah.
No, that's true. No, it's so true. And it's like sometimes these movies, people are like, "Oh, come on!" Like everyone's saying, "Really, another Jurassic Park movie? Really?" But in my mind, I'm like, they're like, "We know how this goes."
Can't wait.
Yeah,
we do know how this goes, but at the same time, we know how scientists think, and sometimes I feel like maybe we need to beat it in their head that you are playing with fire, because if they can create a dinosaur, they will. And I think I might. I mean, I don't know. I know the repercussions, but I feel like if you had the smarts, the ability, the funding, would you not take your chances in creating a dinosaur?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I agree.
Bioweapons, it's the same shit.
I kind of feel like
is a dinosaur a bioweapon at the end of the day, though? Could it not be turned into a bioweapon? You know what I'm saying? Like,
and
you release that thing in fucking Russia
essentially literally the plot of the new
Jurassic
Park.
Yeah, exactly.
You could justify that it was the OG Aboriginals.
They were here. They were here 65 million years.
You're bringing back
so
the
they
first
obviously
people.
Deserve another chance.
You're bringing back the first people.
But do you imagine how many people would get upset by that? Be like, I can't believe you've brought back the dead. Like you can't.
Upset about
it's
everything.
Genuinely like the world is ending because look what they are doing. This is the apocalypse. They're bringing back dinosaurs.
I think to a certain point, science is like, we don't care about your feelings. Like, I mean, think about the things that they're doing with CERN. I think that's just as dangerous, but they're doing it anyway in the name of science. So
people do a lot of fucked up shit in the name of science.
We all justify our reasons, but when it comes to experimenting and creation, humans love to create because we are a part of the creator. So it seems like no matter what, we are always trying to create something of our own. If you think about it, all of us. We're always trying to create something. And if we can go deep and we can do something crazy, we're going to do it.
It's a form of magic.
Yeah. Hey, at that point, why stop at dinosaur? Let's get real fucking creative. Let's make a dragon.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Totally doable.
Also, Bree, the chat is really against you making a dinosaur. Like everyone's like, please don't.
I got a 3D printer. I'll figure something out.
They're not talking about me. Brooke spelled my name wrong. So
no, he corrected it. Look, he corrected it right here. See?
Oh shit.
Nah. and then please.
I obviously can't, but I would hope that you guys could understand my logic that if you had the power and if you knew what you were doing, why would you not? Like, how do you like? To me, that's like worse than a heroin addict looking at heroin. You're just like, it's right there. I can do it. Why not?
Yeah, that's the whole like morality of science conversation about like our whole desire to innovate and explore, and where do we draw the line?
Well, I think there's like there is like okay, so there's already like people talking about like designer babies, right? Where people are picking like what color eyes they want their kids to have because they're messing with genetics and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people who are against that kind of stuff, and they're like, you shouldn't be doing this with human genetics. You don't know what you could be doing or creating. But then like on the flip side, though, people are saying that they're doing things like taking out things or putting in things that make it so that they're resistant to cancer or they're not going to have this or something like that. So it's with like
great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. But what do you when you mess with the human DNA and like that? Is it human? Is it what? So okay. So like, what is?
Of course, it's human. It's just.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
is better design, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, is that are we going to come to a future where it's like, well, you were naturally born and you were not naturally born, and is that going to be a difference between like a group of people? You know what I mean?
Well, imagine what you could do.
I'm designer, and you're
How does she not get a red pill for that one?
That was
she does. Listen, my grandma's telling me about this book that she's been reading, and it's called something like Why You Die and Why You Don't Have to. And it's about this person who's a scientist who has found a way to age mice, make them basically like sick, blind, about to die, and then reverse them basically almost like in time, but genetically to very close to being like reborn. And so his things about how like they're gonna start human trials and all of this stuff, and so she's like all on that shit, like we're gonna live for 500 years, and I'm like, I would hate that. Don't do that.
Just imagine if you live 500 years and like you're like 400 years old and you're like, man, I'm still fucking broke. Like, at what point would you just be like, dude, I gotta off myself?
Can't eat more ramen.
But we were talking about how, like, can you imagine you're 70 years old and like right now a 70-year-old is like, my life's over, you know, I did my shit or whatever. But you could 200 years be like, I think I'm gonna all of a sudden be something totally different. I'm gonna marry someone else. I'm gonna do something else. And you can marry people that are like, oh, I'm 400. Well, I'm only 250 years old. But at that point, it's like ages out the window. But it's just
at that point, like, okay, I think the biggest problem with that is like, so then does life become like boring to a point, and goals and things that you have become less important because you can live forever? So it's like you put things off, you don't do things, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
because there's still a time frame though.
But, okay, but 400 years is still a long
Yeah.
time, though.
Your perception of time is going to be all jacked up.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, though. Like your life right now, let's say, like we all live 100 years, right? Like that's we right now as a collective, like 100 years, we break that down. By this age, you're doing this at this. Once you get past that, like what milestones do you like? I just feel like life would get so monotonous at that point to live that long. It takes the joy out of life when you can literally just live forever.
I don't think so. I think if it's 400 years, I mean, I don't want to live this long, but I'm just saying, theoretically, if you had 400 years to live, you could give yourself a whole 100 years to be a child. How many adults are like, fuck, I wish I could be back to being a child?
Who the fuck wants to take care of a 100-year-old child?
Who wants to take of 100? Yeah, exactly. And then is it how does aging work in that world, right? Like, do you age up to a certain age, or do you rapidly age up to an old and then you live old for 300 years? Like, how is this? What are the logics?
Here's the other thing.
I would like to say that you stay in your 20s for a whole like 300 years, and then you
think about like our boomer parents and how they fucking can barely comprehend what's happening in the world right now.
I know, that's what I'm saying, exactly.
And I'm kind of right there with them, to be honest. But like,
same.
I'm also like, that's gotta.
I don't have anyone like that in my life.
The older you get.
My parents are Gen X.
So there's another thing to consider.
And my boomer grandparents. My grandma's way too woke for that. So no, I can't relate. I think she's gonna, if she can, she's gonna live. She's gonna outlive me.
Probably.
No, she probably will.
So, as a procrastinator myself,
I have 200 years to not do this.
I would
exactly.
And with the way that your perception of time would be so fucked up, I would be like, oh man, I gotta call Steve. And then call them and be like,
20 years.
It would be like his great grandchild or something, and be like, are you talking about great grandpa Steve?
Remember when like summer vacation?
Oh shit, it's been
like
200 years. Yeah.
Say that again, Bobby.
Like when summer vacation felt like it lasted a year, like when we were our age.
Like when you were younger.
Now a year feels like a summer vacation, and it gets shorter and shorter every like.
Oh god, it's like I swear to God, the older I get, that every year I go, yes, it's like the years get shorter and shorter. Like 6 months go by, and I'm like, it felt like 2 fucking weeks.
And they're like,
this shit.
They're like, today's classic rock, Led Zeppelin, The Who, and Stone Temple Pilots. And
honestly,
like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
No, I think it's like okay, like with the Super Bowl, right? So like I kept seeing TikToks of people. I kept seeing TikToks of people being like, my parents listening to the Super Bowl, and then all the kids like not understanding the music, and I was like, oh my god, we finally hit that point where we're old enough where like the things that we listen to are now considered old. Like the 90s is a long fucking time ago.
But objectively, today's music does suck, like with or without.
No, the problem is with the children. Not
I was like,
it's clearly the children's
problem is that the children don't understand. I'm lucky that I feel like my sister knows all of those things. So in my opinion, it's just like how you grow up. And who's to say if we live 400 years, then that music wouldn't be out and people would have been listening to it for 200 years.
Would we be listening? Yeah, would we be listening to 400-year-old music at that point?
That would be just straight up like classical.
Yeah, I listen to like Baroque.
It would be like Baroque.
Okay. I feel like
Baroque, Limp Bizkit.
I feel like
shit.
Baroque music.
I feel like we got really off topic there, and we should bring it back.
Yeah, what is this? A dinosaur in Africa? What do we got going on here?
And we should talk about what our feelings are about this cryptid, because I feel like we all have very strong opinions.
Just drink.
Yeah.
Just drink. We'll drink.
We know it has that name.
All right, so Tony.
That's the end of it.
Tony, on our factor sci-fi scale over here, 1 being not real, middle bitch being, you like to take the safe bet, or fact being as you think this is real, where does this lie to you on the scale?
I'm gonna go right around. I like middle bitch for this one.
Okay, all right, that's a respectable thing to do.
Yeah, definitely middle bitch. There's the possibility it could be something else, and it's just being misidentified, and there's just so much land there. So yeah, I think it's possible.
Okay, all right, Bree. It sounds like you're agreeing a little bit with that. So why don't you go next?
Yeah, I feel it. I feel the middle bitch. only because of the conversation we've had in the last 5 minutes where I'm just like, hey, anything's possible. I can find reason in everything. So I kind of feel that way too. I feel like actually I might talk myself out of this. I could see if it's a creature that people have misidentified some attributes of it, like some of the things that it does or some of the details of how it looks, and that it is a part of something that is worldwide, because I think that the typical shape and everything that it is has been seen worldwide, like we talked about all the other places, and like I was even mentioning Tahoe. So like, how are these people just inventing this one creature and it's just all over the world? Those kind of things, it's like there's a lot of coincidences in that. So I think there's a possibility that it is a part of a family of these Loch Ness monster-ish type creatures. I just don't know if it's still around. But and with all that said, I think I'm gonna have to middle bitch, and I feel safe there.
Okay. All right, Bobby, go for it. We'll go in the circle.
I'm going to be an asshole here, and I'm going to go below a middle bitch, but not quite a sci-fi. I want to give it some...
Come on. You got to pick.
Go
ahead.
It's like a 3. I got a 3.
Okay.
And
all right.
And the 3 points come from, I respect people's like spiritual belief in
spiritual belief.
Possible dinosaurs in Africa. Via mythology, folklore, and spiritual beliefs. So,
that sounds like a sci-fi to me. Are you just uncomfortable with sci-fiing it?
Yeah, no, he's saying
I'm being completely
credence.
genuine right now.
Yeah, like he's leading credence to the fact that like people really believe in this, and like it's like story, and it's like old as time, but he's not necessarily into it.
I'm pretty fucking woke, all right?
So here's the deal, though. I also agree with Bobby. I was like, that's also.
I like to respect indigenous tribes' beliefs, all right?
Yeah, who are you to say what they believe?
Yeah.
Okay, so
fucking colonizer.
I'm giving it a 4. What I decided. So I understand what Bree says when she's talking about like it's throughout everywhere. So it gives me more of a middle bitch vibe. I like that because it's very indicative of a lot of cryptids that I'm into, like Bigfoot and stuff like that. But I'm just like not into this. It just seems so misidentified to me. Like my problem is like I believe in all the other versions of like the Loch Ness monster, I feel like, but this specific one doesn't do it for me. And so I'm giving it a 4 personally. Yeah.
You gave it a 4?
Yeah, 4. Yeah. I want to go one below.
If that's your definition of 4, I give it a 4.5.
That's a fucking sci-fi to me.
I was like,
no, it's a middle. Okay.
I was like, we're middle bitching it. That's what I'm saying. I'm just slightly on the more sci-fi side. That's all.
Yeah, all right, we're right.
I don't like that you guys are choosing your shit. Listen, there's 3 options.
No way. It's always a scale 1 to 10.
It's always a scale from 1 to 10.
What are you talking about?
It's always been a scale. That's what you loved about the scale, the fact that you didn't have to pick one or the other. That you
I can
give
show
it a
you
number.
the episode.
Yeah, there's an episode where you were like, "This is genius. The scale is great. I love that you picked numbers." No, actually, sounds like yourself. You know what? Yourself.
Who said that? Who said that?
Bree, you know what? This is what you are doing to all of us right now. I loved Bobby. That was great.
Moving forward, you only get 3 options on fact or sci-fi.
Yeah, yes, you get no other numbers. Yeah, just
everyone else gets 1 to 10.
Everyone else gets a fucking scale.
Middle bitch, and fact.
Yeah.
You know what?
You can just do a 1 to 3. We'll know what that means.
I was there when Tatiwaba first had its first episode, and I invented the name Middle Bitch. That was me. And
I will say that Bobby has always been a fan of Middle Bitch. Bobby stole Middle Bitch and used it on his channel.
We've always done a number. That's all.
We've always done a number. We have.
This is not a personal attack.
It's not.
Anyways, I'd like to get back to my roots.
Bree's red pills.
Get back to my roots. The roots were 3 options. It was fact, sci-fi. I invented middle bitch to not have to claim both. But now we're just like giving ourselves so many spaces. You'd be like, I'm a 1.5, I'm a 2, I'm a 2.5, I'm a 3, I'm a 3.5, I'm a 4, I'm a 4.
So now, so Bree,
Yeah, I'm
so I'm gonna have
on
to,
that last one.
I'm gonna have to clip out Bree saying that, and we're gonna have to play that on the channel.
I
every
agree.
time we do.
That's fine. It's fine. I'm going back. This
Dude,
is
your
the new rules
okay.
going
So-
forward.
So you're being a
forward.
flippy floppy Hillary Clinton kind of character right now.
Ooh, red pill.
Oh, red pill.
God damn it.
What'd you go eat a
I'm
kid?
evolving.
Mhm.
I'm
Right,
evolving
right.
like you all do. And that's the scale. It's gotta be
Love you, Chad.
It's gotta be fact, sci-fi, or middle bitch.
Okay, so then I sci-fi this one. If you want me to choose them, then I sci-fi.
Thank you. And
I'm
Bobby.
drawing a line in the sand. I'm not participating in Bree's redefinition.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't like how she's like trying
This
to
is
be
a
like
straight up power move. She gaslit us into thinking that
she
we
did
were
gaslight
crazy.
us. She did. She did.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
I do not
100%.
enable gaslighters.
Yeah, you're a gaslighter, Brie. Fucking. You know what?
Exactly.
They do say that all. They do say that all women who are into astrology are narcissists. So maybe that's what that was coming out.
How does that make
Damn.
any sense?
That's
Damn, because you're
This is
gaslighting,
getting
and that's what
fucking
narcissists do.
Very.
Gaslighting. I'm going
Very
back to
deep.
my ways. You know what? If Jamie can change her personality in a couple episodes, so can I.
I'm gonna get bleached tips by the next episode.
Shots, fucking do it, Bobby, please. We'll call you Justin.
Can you still do
Justin's
that?
Cryptid
You
Corner.
dye your hair, dye your beard blue.
Dye your beard. Yes, blue. Cryptid
I
Corner
have, like, a
blue.
real
Yes.
job.
That you have to go into
Justin.
work for?
Come on,
It's really
Zoom.
good for employment.
I know.
Hey, what's up? I do live in Austin though. They'd be
They
like,
can't
cool, bro.
discriminate. There's laws against
Pfizer
that. You
or
can't
Moderna?
discriminate.
All right, you guys. That's
Moderna
gonna be the end of our Bobby's Cryptid Corner. I'm gonna drop the link inside of the chat if any of you guys want to come
Yes.
hang out in the after party, because I'm sure Bree will want to hang out in here. So I'll drop that
Oh,
now.
Can I show you guys something really quick before
Yeah,
we
of
go?
course. Let's do it before we go. 100%. Absolutely. We have time for that.
Mhm.
Thank God for Canva. 100%.
Because
Let's do it. Come on. Where is it?
we was talking to hippos.
Oh.
Fuck that thing.
No, thank you. Yeah, no.
That
People
that.
kill
Look
is
how-
more
so
people.
Look
horrifying.
at the
Look how
look
fast
at the
it is.
face.
Yeah.
He's
Look at that
scared.
fat
He
shit
goes
It looks like it's
away.
water
He goes
skiing.
away.
Oh.
He goes away, but for a second, the boat driver was like, "Oh fuck, this is not."
Oh,
supposed to
fuck.
happen
This
like
is
this."
not good.
Yeah, they have to
Look
at
like
his
train
face, yeah.
themselves to not panic. And
He's like,
they're like, oh,
Yeah.
tourists, oh, this is normal.
Hippos.
Mm-hmm.
he's like, no, he ate my grandbabies.
It's like when you hit like a
Mm-mm.
big, ungodly amount of turbulence on an airplane. The pilot's like, experience a little
No,
turbulence.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be
no.
fine.
You're like, dude, we
Well,
almost died.
Everybody's okay.
All
your
right,
shit,
you
girl.
guys. All right, guys. Thank you all for coming. That was Cryptid Corner. Thank you, Tony, for visiting us and bringing your cryptid with us. And we will see
Thanks
you
for
guys
having
next
me
week
on.
for another episode. I don't know what the hell we're doing, but we'll see you guys next time. We love you all.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.